Hello, everybody. How are you? We're here in Columbus, Ohio. Wow, it did cloud over quick, but that's fairly common here in the Midwest. Guys, the reaction to my two videos on how to meet available singles in Reynoldsburg and the other one on Gahanna has kicked up a text storm and an email storm. And the main one that I get now, people are asking about Canal Winchester and how to meet singles in Canal Winchester. And like I said, my strategy may not be for you. I would tend to avoid the bars and go with clubs, organizations, associations. And it's just easier to meet people that way. You don't have to feel like you have to buy a drink or buy them a drink, and it just gets old. So here are 5 different ways to meet available singles in Canal Winchester. And of course, the first one is the Canal Club. Now, the Canal Club is probably the most prestigious club in Canal Winchester because it goes back to the building of the original canals in town. Now, today there are only probably a remaining 30 canals in Canal Winchester, but originally, back in the day, we're talking late 1800s, early 1900s, there was maybe 500 or 600 canals. One of them that went all the way down to Ohio University. In fact, it was one of the original commuter schools because you could take a canal boat from Canal Winchester all the way down to Athens and back and bring your books, study, stay at the library. And if you had to stay overnight, if there was a winter storm, you could stay in the dorms there and then just walk on the ice back if it was that bad of a winter storm and it froze over the canal. But today, the Canal Club is the young place to be, and that's because it's got that prestige of an older club, but it's young, it's hip, the music is cool, they've got parties, they've got charity events. Give it a try. I think you're going to like it. It's maybe on the older end of the singles range, and let's call the singles range for this conversation anywhere from 18 to 45, but give it a go. Number 2 in Canal Winchester is the Discoatorium. Now, the Discoatorium is a renovated flea market, okay? What we in Los Angeles would call a swap meet. Here in Ohio, I've heard the term flea market. And that flea market ran 25 years in a row and then went out of business. And so what do you do with the space? Well, it was a gym at one time. It was a roller rink, and now it's a discotorium. And the discotorium is their attempt to bring back disco. So it's not just a rehab. It's basically they're recreating disco as it was at its height when Saturday Night Fever came out, and the Bee Gees were one of the #1 bands. Okay. So if you like disco, and so many people that aren't from that era, maybe weren't even alive, love that music. So try the Discotorium. Now, I said to avoid bars, so this, I guess, would be an exception, but really it's more of an experience than it is just a bar, because you can wear your clothes that recreate that night. In other words, go find out what the fashions were, get the big hair, get the cool shoes, get the big bell bottoms, and go to the Discotorium there in Canal Winchester. It's a huge space with a great sound system. I know you're going to meet somebody there, and hopefully it's that special someone. And if you don't, you're going to have to go to the doctor anyway to get your hearing checked because the music is that loud. Now, number 3 is the Bicycle Club. Now, Bicycle Club is a real business, but it's unassociated with this particular bicycle club. This is an actual bicycle club, not the restaurant chain. This is an actual bicycle club called the Bicycle Club. So maybe you're not into bikes, but if you are, this is a good way to meet people because they meet every morning and they go on bicycle rides around Canal Winchester, and on the weekends they take longer trips up to Columbus, up to Cleveland. They've ridden to Toronto. They've ridden to Edmonton, Alberta. This fall, they're going to be riding to Ireland. Okay, they ride the whole way. They ride on the boat. They ride around the boat. And then as soon as the boat docks in Ireland, they get off the boat. So they're riding the whole time. Now they take breaks. Of course, you got to sleep. And some people sleep on their bikes as they're riding. They've learned to just close their eyes and they balance on the bike. They're that good. But the Bicycle Club is all singles. I mean, as soon as you get married on that club, they kick you out because they want it to be a singles club. It's basically a bicycle club for singles. So it's a neat way to meet people, and you're going to get in shape if you're not, and if you're in shape, you're going to get rock hard. It's number 3 on our list. Now, Canal Winchester, of course, is the crossroads of a lot of things going on in Ohio, and down in Marietta, they have a thing that Canal Winchester is a big part of, and it's the Marietta to Columbus Yo-Yo March. And they march from Marietta all the way up to Columbus and back through Canal Winchester. So, of course, some of that is over hill and dale through brush. So they have a yo-yo in front that has jagged edges on. In other words, the yo-yoist in front of the march has a yo-yo that has jagged edges on the string, so they're able to cut down brush by flicking the yo-yo, cutting down trees and brush, clearing a path for the yo-yo march. So this doesn't happen a lot. It only goes once per 3 months every quarter. But if you like yo-yos and you want to be part of something big, because this gets a lot of press, it's on 10 TV, Channel 4 out of Columbus, all of the Cincinnati stations, and of course Athens Public Television covers it. And even in Huntington, they have covered this Marietta to Columbus Yo-Yo March. And if you don't know how to yo-yo, they're going to teach you how to do it. If you're a yo-yo professional and you have extra yo-yos, they're asking anybody that can lend a yo-yo. That way everybody can yo-yo their way from Marietta to Columbus and back. And if you have a yo-yo that cuts trees, they do need 2 or 3 people to fill in when the main person that cuts down the brush for the march gets tired. So check that out, guys. It's unusual, but I think you're going to like it. And of course, number 5 is a really unique thing for Canal Winchester, and I've never seen it before. It's the Unicycle Motorcycle Club. So you've seen motorcycle clubs, you've seen unicycles. These are motorcycle unicycles. So it's basically a one-wheeled motorcycle club. And the thing about that is, usually that type of club attracts a younger, more excitement-seeking person. So if you are into motorcycles, if you're into unicycles or one or the other, and you want to check it out because it's something you got to see to believe, people riding around on one-wheeled motorcycles, okay, at high speed, then this is something for you. And if it's not, you're at least going to meet some interesting people. And remember, part of the art of meeting people is meeting people that know people. So broaden your contact list, basically, by meeting interesting people. Next thing you know, they invite you to their thing. They're having a lunch. They're having a dinner. They're having an outing. They're having a seance. Who knows? And they'll invite you, and then you can either attend, not attend, meet somebody. It's just, in other words, be a friend. Make friends. And then you'll meet the right person. Guys, those are 5 exciting and different ways to meet available singles in Canal Winchester. Good luck out there.